Hello, Thoreau families, and welcome to our virtual Back to School 2021-2022. My name is Teresa Kaluki, and I am the very proud principal of your child's school. We're so happy that you're able to watch our video today. We know that this was not the original intent for how you wanted to interact with us and have questions answered, but unfortunately the weather last week was not our friend. So here we are preparing a recorded video for you. But please know at the end of this recording, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any member of the administrative or counseling staff that you'll meet today during our presentation. I'd like to start by introducing the members of the Thoreau administrative staff. As I've said, my name is Teresa Kaluki, proud principal. Unfortunately, our Director of Student Services, Ms. Rebecca Aguilar, was not able to be here today, but please know that she is working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that your children have a wonderful school year. Now I'll turn it over to Mr. Luongo.
Good morning, my name is Greg Luongo. I'm going to be the assistant principal working with 8th grade students, as well as the social science department and the English department, reading department, and MTSS for the school.
Hello, Thoreau Middle School. My name is Tracy Bromberg, and I am one of the assistant principals here at Thoreau. I am going to be working closely with our 7th grade students this year, and the teams that I will be supporting are the Penguins, Wolfpack, and the Ravens. I also am working closely with our special education department, our math department, and our world language department. I look forward to meeting you all and getting to know you.
Hi, Thoreau. My name is Ji-Hoon Shin. I am the 3rd and newest assistant principal here. I just finished up my first week, and it's been very exciting to be here in the Thoreau family. This year, I'll be working with both 7th and 8th grade students and supporting the GOATS team and the Turtles team. On the staff side, I'm working with the social studies department and the CTE department. And I'm so excited to be here at Thoreau now.
While we have many priorities and goals, both short-term and long-term here at Thoreau, I wanted to start by assuring you that our #1 priority at the start of this school year is the health and safety of your children. We understand the challenge of sending your children to school while we're still in the middle of this pandemic, but I do want to assure you that nothing is more important to us than making sure that our students are practicing safe practices for COVID as well as general health, and that we are following the layered prevention strategies that have been put in place by Fairfax County Public Schools and the Virginia Health Department. I had the opportunity of meeting many of you at our open house. In fact, I think I spoke to hundreds of families during that excellent opportunity to meet and greet and get to know everyone. Several of you shared some of your priorities and goals and things that you're hoping the Thoreau administration can address this year. So one of them that I'd like to briefly talk about is communication. I understand how important it is to be involved in the day-to-day business of what your children are doing with their teachers and their activities, but it's also equally important for you to know what's happening at the school, not only with COVID protocols, but also with important updates, announcements, and that communication needs to be timely and effective. If you haven't already signed up for our Thoreau Matters, which is a News You Choose subscription, please make sure that you take the time to do so on our website. I will be sending the Thoreau Matters newsletter at the beginning of the year. It'll be every Friday. And then as information starts being more streamlined, we'll probably go to an every other week system. But the Thoreau Matters newsletter will be the place to go for you to know what's going on at our school, and also an opportunity for us to try to help connect families to our feeder schools, both for the transition into middle school as well as the transition into high school. Another priority many of you have shared with me is the understanding and appreciation of the fact that after Thoreau was renovated, 1/3 of our students are not Madison Pyramid students. And while Thoreau is very proud of the long history that we've had in working with Madison Pyramid Schools, we need to recognize and appreciate the diversity of our students and the diversity of the schools of which they have attended and will attend into the future. So it will be extremely important for us, and you can count on it that in our communication, we will be including information from our Oakton Pyramid as well as our Marshall Pyramid friends, so that all of our students transitioning to Thoreau and those leaving Thoreau at the end of this year and moving on to high school have that equal opportunity to know the information and to be connected to the schools with which they will attend. Obviously, opportunities for students to connect this year is of utmost importance for us. Our third period advisory, which you will hear some more information about during this presentation, is that perfect social opportunity for not only students to connect with each other. We have a new break built into our school day this year, but also for our teachers to make extremely strong relationships with all of our students, so that every student at Thoreau has a trusted staff member to which they can go to when they need help, support, or guidance. MTSS is our multi-tiered systems of support. As many of you read in the newsletter that I sent last week, we will begin a significant amount of testing in the next, I believe, 4 to 5 weeks. While we know your children may not appreciate as many assessments as they will be taking, please know that these assessments, which include a math inventory, a reading inventory, and the new Virginia Department of Education growth assessments in both reading and math, are extremely valuable data points. We will be using this data as a school team to figure out which students need additional academic supports, as well as a social emotional screener will be given to all students so that we have additional data to consider as we work to develop our school improvement plan and provide supports for all students. Be on the lookout. Information about the details of Thoreau's school improvement plan will be made available to parents later this fall. Also, as we talk about our work in our pyramids and really across all schools in Fairfax County, please know that we will continue to be focusing on our Portrait of a Graduate skills. For those families that are new to Fairfax County Public School, you'll see on the screen the 5 main areas of communicator, collaborator, ethical and global citizen, creative and critical thinker, and goal-directed and resilient individuals. These are the skills that are important to all of our students to make sure that they are prepared for the future outside of Fairfax County and really having deep opportunities to engage in authentic learning. So be on the lookout also this year as our students will be engaged in project-based learning, in performance-based assessment, and a lot of portfolios and other opportunities for them to demonstrate their mastery aside from traditional testing. Many of you have questions regarding health and safety. So just to take a few moments to briefly go over some of the excellent resources that the county has made available to us. I'm sure everyone knows our students are doing a tremendous job at wearing their mask. I am in the hallway, our administrators are in the hallways, our counselors are in the hallways, and all of our teachers are in the hallways at arrival, dismissal, and in between every class change, assuring that our students are wearing their mask properly. We've been extremely proud of the efforts that they are making. We are constantly enforcing social distancing. We are not allowing students to drink from the water fountains. So it is important, parents, that you make sure that your child has a water bottle in their backpack. They may use our water fountains to refill their water throughout the day. And obviously, we will be encouraging hand washing, and we have hand sanitizer in every single classroom in our building. For those of you who are new to our school system, you may not be aware that I at Thoreau do not make the COVID protocols, nor do I make the decisions regarding the protocols that our students have in place for health and safety this year while we get through this pandemic. All of those decisions are made at the county level in collaboration with the Virginia Department of Health and the Fairfax County Health Department. On this site, on this screen, you'll see, and we will be sharing these slides for you, the most important documents for you to bookmark if you are interested in learning more about the updates that we've received from Fairfax County regarding different health protocols. The most important thing that we need your cooperation is please ensuring that you check with your student every morning to make sure that they are not exhibiting any signs or symptoms of illness, and that if they are, please keep them home. We do have a CARES room here at Thoreau. All schools do, where we will be isolating students who demonstrate any signs of illness. Parents will have to come pick their child up immediately, and there is a doctor's form that is required for those students to return. So if your child does get sent home from our CARES room, it is important that we receive the forms back signed from your child's doctor, and if a COVID test was taken, that the negative results of that test are provided to the school. Without this information, your child will not be able to attend school here at Thoreau. If you know that your child has been exposed or potentially exposed, please call our main office and report this immediately. It will help the health department with contact tracing, and we really want to ensure that our students are here in the building, engaged with their classes, learning from their teachers, and really here active participants in the school building. Unfortunately, we know many students across our school system are being paused in order to pending the outcome of the contact tracing. We are trying to do our best to pause the limited amount of students. And if our students are wearing their mask properly and we are spacing our students out to the maximum extent possible, then smaller numbers of students will have to be excluded from school. So please do your part, and we will continue to do our part to keep your children here in school where they belong. The other information on this slide are the county health documents. Please take time after you've watched the presentation and received the slides to review this information so that you know what the protocols are if your child is exposed, what happens, what the timeline will be, and what your course of action is as well. So thank you for partnering with us in terms of health and safety, and we are confident that these mitigation strategies are successful, and we will continue to keep our students here at Thoreau this year.
Now we would like to take an opportunity to walk you through a day at Thoreau Middle School. What does it look like when your student comes and arrives at school in the morning? Our daily bell schedule is from 7:30 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. for the instructional schedule. However, our doors open at 7:10 a.m. So we want to make sure our students are ready to learn right at 7:30. At 7:10 a.m., there is also breakfast available for all students. For the 2021-2022 school year, there's no cost for any breakfast or lunch. So any Thoreau student who wants to partake in a breakfast may come to the cafeteria starting at 7:10, and there will be a breakfast available. Although this year meals will be free for all students, if you are a family that will be in need of financial assistance for other areas of school, we would like to help you continue to receive this assistance in things like fees or for other items that may cost money in the future. Please make sure to complete this form as soon as possible to make sure that you're able to receive the assistance throughout the school year. Now, what does your student go through on a daily basis? We follow a block schedule here at Thoreau. Each student has 8 classes: math, English, science, social studies, PE, 2 elective classes, and advisory. They attend 4 classes on gold days, or as you see, the odd periods, and they attend 4 classes on blue days, or the even periods. This schedule has already been produced for the entire school year and is available on our Thoreau Schoology site. Just as a heads up, this schedule will stay in place every day throughout the school year. So even if there are inclement weather days or school is canceled on a certain day, we will continue on the gold-blue schedule for planning purposes. You can see the schedule for the entire school year. Lunches take place during 5th and 6th period. These are determined by your student's class and teacher. Therefore, your student can have a different lunch on a blue day and a gold day. So one day they might have lunch as early as 10:40 a.m. The next day it could be 12:10 p.m. A lunch students would go to lunch first, and then they would attend their A lunch class afterwards. D lunch students would attend class and then lunch. If your child has B or C lunch, they would attend part of their class, go to lunch, and then return back to their class. This year, lunch is being held both in the main cafeteria as well as Eagle Hall to allow the students to be socially distanced while they are having lunch. Again, as a reminder, lunch is available at no cost to all students, which has actually helped the lunch lines go through very quickly this year. But if a student would like to have a second lunch or purchases any a la carte items, they would have to pay using their lunch accounts through My School Bucks. So we hope this kind of gives you a glimpse into what the school day looks like. So as I mentioned earlier, all students will be taking 8 classes. One of those classes is the advisory period. Advisory here at Thoreau takes place during 3rd period. And as you can see on the slide right now, there are so many different activities that will be taking place during advisory. There can be meetings, as you see some of the acronyms in here. SEL is social emotional learning. P2 is the positivity project. We're going to have community building. We'll talk about the middle school break time. And there's just lots of different things that will be going on during the advisory period. So what does advisory look like here at Thoreau specifically? We have advisory divided into 3 parts. The first part of advisory will start with the Excellence in Action meeting. This is a time where students will get to know the other kids in their advisory period. We want students to feel connected to each other. We want them to feel safe every single day and be welcome in this school building. Even though there might be many, many students here, this is an opportunity to get to know a small group of kids each and every day. And this is done through different activities, like we had mentioned, through the social emotional learning activities, community building activities, and so forth. Then after the Excellence in Action meeting, all Fairfax County middle school students this year will be taking an unstructured break time. This is 15 minutes where students will be able to participate in the activity of their choice. There's many different options, but one of the keys we want to continue to promote is that the away for the day still remains in effect during this time. After this unstructured break time, we'll be transitioning into Eagle time. This is an opportunity for students to meet with teachers, to have intervention specifically in the areas that they need. And for those other students, it'll be a time to work on any homework or other school assignments that they will participate at that time. So this is an opportunity for students to work with teachers individually or to work on their own periods of time.
Hi, my name is Jill Gallagher, and I'm the counselor for the GOATS team this year and also co-leading our peer helping program. I'm excited to work with your students this year and get to know my 7th grade team. We also have Mr. Eric Fishman, who is unable to join us today, but he is the counselor for the Ravens team and the Wombats team.
Hi, I'm the counselor for the 7th grade Penguins team and the 8th grade Hawks team. I'm also the counselor working with our 7th grade Young Scholars. I look forward to working with our students this school year.
Hi, I'm Scott Aldridge, and I'm the counselor for the 7th grade Wolfpack team and the 8th grade Falcons team. And I help with our mindfulness and wellness outreach here at the school. And I'm really excited to work with all your students this year.
Hi, I'm Carrie Turner. I am the counselor for the 8th grade Turtle team, and I am also co-teaching the peer helping class with Miss Gallagher. And I'm so excited to have our students back in school. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any counselor. If you ever have any concerns, we work very closely as a counseling department with Rebecca Aguilar and our school social worker and school psychologist. So we look forward to partnering with you this school year. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our counselors who were able to join us for this presentation. As you know, our counselors are such an integral part of the school, and they are well liked by our students and staff, and we're so fortunate to have them here. As Mr. Shin mentioned earlier, in advisory, some of the things that we will be working on this year is supporting our students with social and emotional learning. So some of the things that we will talk about a little bit more in advisory with students is about understanding and managing emotions, establishing and maintaining positive relationships with our peers as well as adults in the building. There'll be some goal setting. We'll talk about responsible decision making and learn more about feeling and showing empathy. Some of the programming that we will use during this time is our CASTLE programming, which stands for the Collaborative Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. Another part of our third period advisory is our Excellence in Action Steps to Success. This is a school-wide initiative that focuses on many things that our students oftentimes need support with, including things like sustained attention, organization, time management, all of the executive functioning skills that help our students become better students. These lessons are common across the school building, so all students have the opportunity to experience these and continue to grow their skills in these executive functioning areas.
So we are really excited to have the Positivity Project back for our second year, and it's going to be even better this year, doing it in person with our students. The Positivity Project focuses on 24 character traits. Here at Thoreau, we decided to focus on just 9 of those traits that the teachers thought were most relevant to our students. And we're going to be focusing on 1 trait per month so that we can go into more depth for each of those traits. Students will be getting a lesson each week during their advisory period, and we'll also be working on some school-wide projects and awards and recognitions to really deepen our understanding of the Positivity Project and make sure that we're using it as our common language throughout the building. So we're really excited, look forward to some communication home about what we're doing during the Positivity Project lessons. Thanks.
Now we're going to move on to discussing the learning platforms used in Fairfax County Public Schools and specifically how they're used here at Thoreau. So you've probably heard a lot about Schoology and ParentVue. So what's the difference and where do I go for different types of information? We'll start with ParentVue. ParentVue is the parent version of SIS, or Student Information System. This is available both on an online version as well as an app you can download onto your phone. SIS is where you would look up your students' schedules, you can track their attendance, you can see their current grade book of where their grades are at the moment, and see lots of different records available for your student. On the online version, you could also see bus routes and other pertinent information that you would need as a parent. Schoology is the new learning management system adopted by all Fairfax County Public Schools this year. Previously, your students may have used Blackboard 24/7, Google Classroom, or other various forms of learning management systems. However, this year, all students at all schools in Fairfax County will be using Schoology. As you will see, to have a Schoology account, you would log in using your ParentVue account. So we want to make sure you get that set up. Why would you go into Schoology versus ParentVue? In Schoology, we have several courses set up. Each of your students' teachers have their own individual courses where they provide course information and you can learn about their specific classes. As we had said previously, your students are taking 8 classes and they have 8 different teachers, and you can get announcements from each of those through their Schoology courses. But we also have a school-wide Schoology course that is specific to Thoreau. So the all school Thoreau Middle School course would have students, parents, and staff. And this is an opportunity to post school-wide announcements and updates for everyone. For example, the big announcement that was put out recently on the Thoreau All Schoology course is the locker request form. This was an opportunity for any student that would like to have a locker for the upcoming school year. It explained the process, how to complete the form, and where to do everything. This was also an opportunity for students to give feedback about how break time could be better utilized, as we talked about during the advisory period. Another important piece of information available in the all school course is information regarding the after school program. Here on the slide deck, you can see a small version of the main screen, and one of the folders says after school program. Once you click into that folder, you're able to access all the important information regarding the clubs and times and important things that are necessary for all students and parents to know. And this is going to be the place where we'll have school-wide resources and kind of the go-to place to give announcements and send out messages to the entire school. So please, if you have not done so already, please set up your parent Schoology account. And also you can set up your parent view account.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Next, we're going to take a moment to touch on some school-wide policies and procedures. As you know, here at Thoreau Middle School, we have almost 1,200 students here in the building. So as staff, we are doing our best to focus on teaching and reteaching many of the different routines and procedures we have around the building. By doing this, this allows us to maintain a positive environment in our hallways, in our classrooms, and in our lunchroom spaces. So some of the routines that we have been teaching students are around arrival to school in the morning, our hallway transitions, our lunch procedures, and dismissal routes. So please have conversations with your students and encourage them to continue to follow the routines and procedures that school staff are teaching. Next, we'll talk a little bit about arrival, kiss and ride, and tardies. We do expect all of our students to arrive on time every day to all classes, and this means to school in the morning. Please know that if your child is entering the building after 7:30, they should report immediately to the main office to receive a tardy pass. Our kiss and ride door will be locked at 7:30 because we're no longer able to supervise students coming in that door. So if for some reason you are stuck in the kiss and ride traffic line, please know that that is an unexcused tardy, and we just ask that you plan to maybe leave a few minutes earlier. So once again, students arriving after 7:30 should be dropped off at door 1, where they'll receive a tardy pass from the office. We do know that we've been having some bumps in the road, so to say, with transportation. If your child is late to school due to a late bus, please know that that is an excused tardy, and we ensure that our teachers know when we have late buses arriving so that students are marked appropriately. Next, just another reminder that Thoreau is an away for the day school. So what this means is that all students have to keep their electronic devices away during the day. So we are referencing cell phones, watches, tablets, personal laptops, and any other communication device. We ask that our students have these powered off and in their backpacks when they enter the building and leave them off until dismissal at the end of the day. So we will be confiscating devices when students are not following the away for the day process. So please encourage your student to have those devices away.
Thank you, Ms. Bromberg. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about our assessment and grading policies here at Thoreau. And so we're going to be able to jump in by starting talking about the rolling gradebook. So as we did last year, for those of you who have 8th grade students, we're going to continue using a rolling gradebook for this school year for the entire school. Now, what this means is it's a cumulative document. So the student's grade is a combination of all the assignments and assessments throughout the year, regardless of when the work is completed, and it's not an average of quarter marks. So when you get your quarter report cards, you'll see that's a snapshot in time. Hey, here's where the grade is at this exact moment when we exported the grades. It is not then a reset to the next quarter to start over again. Right? So as we look at this and why we're doing it, we're going to focus on mastery over time. And you're going to see late work policies and retake policies within the syllabi that you've gotten from your students. And they'll be in the course documents when you look at the individual courses after this presentation. So the focus is to say, okay, how can there be a setback? Is it not going to, it won't be as impactful as the year goes on, and we can move beyond things because everything gets averaged together. Students will be able to monitor their progress over the course of the entire year, right? Not just see 1 quarter by 1 quarter and then forget about it. And so this way, over the course of the year, we get a more accurate reflection of a student's grades. And as we get through. So why are we doing this again? The biggest thing is now that the quarter marks are, it's just a snapshot, we can hopefully balance out our due dates. And we are trying to space out projects, and our interdisciplinary teams are working together to make sure that we're not giving lots of tests on the same day or within the same week, and we can balance things out because we have a little bit more leeway. We can also then focus on, and I have a visual in just a minute that will show you, when you have more tests in 1 quarter versus another quarter, in the end, they're all going to be worth about the same amount because we don't have those quarter end marks. And so we can focus on doing a natural flow. We can plan for the year instead of the quarter, and we can balance out our grade book and our assessments for students as we go. So if you look at the next slide here, you can see a visual representation of the traditional grade book on the left-hand side and how you would average together the quarters and the semesters into the final grade. Whereas in the rolling grade book, you now have all of the assignments just build on each other. And then we get to the final grade. Not everything carries over from 1 quarter to the next. And so if you're thinking about a grading on the next visual, you can see how, on a traditional grade book, depending on how the units are paced out, some of those tests might be worth more than others based on how many assessments are in a quarter. But because of the way the rolling grade book is set up, we're able to balance it out and have them worth the same amount over the course of the year, right? So we're creating a more balanced, equitable grade book as we go. Okay. So part of this rolling grade book is we have established a school-wide late work policy. So what we have said, and this is for every teacher in the building, so you should see it on all the syllabi, the work will be accepted up to 3 weeks after the original due date. So if the student turns in the work 1 week or less after the due date, they will not be assessed a late work penalty. Anything turned in between 2 to 3 weeks after the due date will be assessed a penalty of 10%. And after 3 weeks, it's going to remain at 53%. And that 53% is the lowest grade a student can achieve in the grade book for any student here at Thoreau. And so when you log into your SIS parent view account, no matter which class you look at, you should start to see common comment codes. And so everybody can see the same comment codes, and I'm going to have a brief chart for you next that'll go over them. I'll review them quickly, but please feel free to ask teachers what the comment codes mean if you forget. So when we look at the comment codes, you can see there's one that's not turned in, which means the student didn't turn in the work, and it is valued at a 53%. As I said, that's our lowest bar. If you see a no longer accepted an NLA, that means that the late work window has passed. It's been after 3 weeks, and since we have the rolling grade book, we want to make sure that we can clearly communicate that that work cannot be turned in anymore. It is still valued at 53%. If you see the minimum grade, that means your student has achieved less than a 53% on a assignment or an assessment, but the grade has been raised up to a 53%. Okay. And then the other big one that's on there is the LA10, which is the late work with a 10% penalty. And so you'll see that one when your student turns in work after that late work first week. So weeks 2 through 3 of the late work policy, they will be penalized by that 10% there. So I know that some of the grade books, especially 7th grade, students are getting used to grading for the first time. They are, we're not grading on a 1 to 4 scale as you were in elementary school. And so this takes some time to use it, to get used to it and get used to grading and checking the grades. So please let us know what questions you may have. Please have conversations with the teachers about grading policies if you have any questions, or let us know as the administrative team, and we can help work through and understand the grade book as we go forward.
Hello, Thoreau families. My name is Colleen Taylor. I'm the after school specialist here at Thoreau Middle School. I just wanted to give you guys a few rundown and few information about the Thoreau after school program. So on this page, I've linked a lot of helpful information for you all. As Mr. Shin said, a lot of the after school information now is going to be living on the Thoreau Schoology page. So on the left-hand side of the slide, you can see that I submitted links and things like that to give you guys a step-by-step of where to find it, just in case you guys got confused a little bit. So the after school program folder has a lot of great information there: student registration form, new club proposal form, weekly club schedules, club descriptions, et cetera, et cetera. So any helpful information is going to be found in that folder. So that should be your new home base for any after school questions. And then just to give you guys a little bit more detail about what in-person after school looks like, because thankfully we're coming back to full in-person after school this school year, no more virtual. We're fully back in the building 5 days a week. However, it's important to note that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are the only days that we offer late buses. So on Tuesdays and Fridays, students that stay for after school, which is only open gym or academic help, they have to be picked up or be a walker by 4:15. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, when we offer late buses generally arrive to the school around 4:30 p.m. and then depart at around like 4:45 p.m. But of course, times can change depending on traffic and things like that. And then late bus routes for those days will be posted within the hallways, as well as the cafeteria and the Thoreau after school page on Schoology in the coming weeks before September 20th, which is when the programming actually starts. So make sure you figure out with your son or daughter what late bus will be taking home, where it drops them off, and just make sure you guys communicate ahead of time so there's no last minute calling of mom or dad to figure out what you're doing, how you're getting picked up. Just open line of communication so mom and dad know that your son or daughter is going to be staying late for that day and how they will be getting home. And so like I said, on the Schoology page, there's the weekly club schedule that's being updated every day as new clubs are coming in and new teachers are wanting to sponsor them. But if you have a son or daughter that doesn't see a club that they like, they're more than welcome to fill out the new club proposal form, which is submitted to me. So then I'll review it, make sure the teacher agrees to sponsor it, and they have 10 friends that are willing to commit to the club. So that way they can have a year-long sponsorship of that club. So like I said, the Schoology page on the Thoreau Schoology is going to be the new home base for all the after school important information. And then the last link that you can see on this slide deck is just the current after school clubs. Like I said, that's being updated daily as new ones come across my plate. But the teachers and myself are all really, really excited to be back to in-person after school. And of course, if you have any information that you didn't get answered or any questions that you may have, feel free to email me anytime. And I look forward to meeting your son or daughter.
Hi, I'm Carrie Turner, and I will be talking to you about how to support your child at home and the different resources that are available for you. Middle school is definitely a time that we have to work as a team. It has to be a partnership between school, home, and most importantly, your son or daughter. I always remember a comment our Director of Student Services, Rebecca Aguilar, made at a curriculum night, probably 6 or 7 years ago. But it really stuck with me, and especially as a middle school parent myself, is that we think of middle school as a time that we need to step back, where actuality, we need to really be more involved, that our middle schoolers often need more direction, more hand holding. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't think that you shouldn't be emailing the teachers in middle school. We want to hear from you. And most importantly, we want to encourage our students to be advocates for themselves. One of the best tools as a parent that you could use is ParentVue. If you have not downloaded ParentVue on your phone, I would highly encourage you to do that immediately. What I do is I will check it weekly, even on the line at the grocery store. It's an easy thing to just tap on, see how your son or daughter is doing. It's a great conversational piece to have. You go home, hey, I noticed you got 100 on your last assignment. Awesome job. Or I noticed you're missing something. What do you need to do? When is that due by? It helps to ensure that it's not a surprise at the end of the quarter when the report cards come home. So if you need help downloading that ParentVue app on your phone, reach out. We can help you do that. but that is probably the easiest, most helpful thing as a parent you could look at. Schoology, also another resource. It will show you what they're currently working on. If you want to quiz them, look at what the assignments are. It's a good conversation piece at the dinner table. Schoology would be where you would look to see what they're currently doing. Now that all students have technology and it's one-to-one, the technology tip page and the technology help desk is very important. If your son or daughter come home and say that something's not working, such as the computer's not charging, or maybe a key on the computer's not working, you will click on the technology help desk and submit an IT ticket, and one of our wonderful technology support, SBIT, TSPEC, will contact your son and daughter at school and help them fix any problems with their computer or give them a loaner computer to use. We also have amazing communication supports for families whose home language or correspondence language is non-English. One of the best resources I use with my ESOL families is our Talking Points app, and we can send home a message on your phone in any language. I send it out in English and the family will receive it in their home language. We also have parent information phone lines in 8 languages and interpretation services. And these communication services are so important because we never want a family to feel they cannot reach out. Language should never be a barrier to support or communicating with the school. Finally, we have a parent resource center right around the corner in Dunn-Loring. They have a great free lending library. There are tons of webinars, and there's also educational consultations if you ever need support. Most importantly, I just want to stress that your partnership, your reaching out is so important to us, that we never want you to hesitate to reach out, that we're here to work with you. And we're just so excited to help every child here at Thoreau to be successful.
Thank you so much to all of our administrators and counselors who were able to join us for this video today. The next part of your homework as parents is to log into the Schoology site that'll go live today when we send this video to you, in order to view every single teacher in the building's own curriculum site for back to school. So when you log into Schoology, you will see a site called Thoreau All Parents. On there will be a folder called Back to School Night 2021-22. And within the folder, every department has a subfolder. And within those folders, you will find a welcome video to go over class expectations and curriculum information for all of our course subjects. And you will also find some Google Slides that we have asked all of our teachers to create in order for you to get to know a little bit more about them, their background, and what their hopes and goals are for your children this year. I would like to thank you for joining us for this video. Again, we hope that you found this information to be informative and helpful. I hope you also see that it is the goal of this administration to streamline your child's experience and the parents' experience here at Thoreau Middle School. That goes for communication, as well as our grading practices. We know it can be challenging for students with 8 different teachers to try to manage different sets of expectations. And we hope that the common grading policies that we have put in place will not only help your children, but will also help you be able to support your children in their middle school journey. Thank you again so much for joining us today. Please feel free to reach out to any member of our team with any questions that you have. Please encourage your child to look into the after-school program. Ms. Taylor has a phenomenal after-school program here at Thoreau. It is extremely important for you to be the ones encouraging your children to look into the clubs, to look into their activities. I really believe that this program is what helps our children find success out of the academic environment and also to find success in their social relationships as well. So please encourage your children to get involved. Please, you yourself get involved in terms of communicating with your child's teachers. Log into Schoology, watch their videos, understand what's going on. And again, thank you so much for joining, and we hope to see you soon.